Hey everyone, Jim Phoenix here, and we've got our 38th episode of Streaming Demons coming up, where we discuss none other than Black Phone. That's our brand newsies out in the theaters now. Mommy Dearest, which I might have gotten the memo wrong and watched something with Tara Reid. And of course, Brannick, the box human, brought My Soul to Take. All this and more on the next Streaming Demons. But before we start, I want to say a very happy hello to our best super fan in Czech Republic, Emily. Hiya. Hit it. Hey everyone, Jim Phoenix here, and boy, do we have an exciting episode for you. We've got some cool movies coming up, and we've got the coolest co-host in the entire known upside down, right side up universe, J.M. Brannick. Say hello.
I feel like you're going to ask me for a favor or something. Hello.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I do want to say a couple things before we start, the spiel of something borrowed, something blue, something old, something new. If you are new to Streaming Demons, first of all, hi, how are you?
Howdy.
Hey, and if you're old, you might know that we had a friend of a show who recently passed away, as in today, in Nichelle Nichols. I saw this when Bill Russell died first. I'm like, oh, wow, Bill Russell's died. And I'm a Laker fan, and even I like Bill Russell. And when I got home, I was like, oh, I was just thinking about Bill Russell. Like, man, that's kind of weird. And I just kind of I never met Bill Russell, but I just saw him doing a couple of, charity stuff. I'm like, oh, he's still in good health. And when I read Nichelle died, I was like, oh.
See, I'm just learning this for the first time, viewers and listeners.
So sorry. Yeah, she's a
no.
longtime friend of the show. Honest to God, I met her years ago, and she was reading my work and not even knowing it was me. And
That's
so I was like,
sweet.
holy, yeah, it was beyond like, I used to watch her growing up, and now she's reading my stuff. What the heck? And to see, like, we won't get into whatever was going on in the last couple of years of her, but it's a sad time. It kind of is. So this show is dedicated to Bill Russell. Even though you are a Celtic, my man, it could be like your birthday. And Nichelle Nichols, because of course they wanted their name on this episode of Mummy Dearest.
I wish I had have chosen a different movie.
A better movie, dang it! In memorial, a better movie than this.
I wish. Oh well.
So for those who may have been tuned in once or twice, my name is Jim Phoenix. That's J.M. Brannick, and we discuss brand new movies or old movies or whatever type of movies. We each get one, and we tag team another movie. And Brannick picked kind of sold this movie we're in tag team. No spoilers. I might have watched the wrong movie. I started to really watch Mommy Dearest.
Oh, you watched Mommy Dearest?
Yeah, well, someone's want to do Black Swan for the site. I'm like, yeah, I get it. That's horror. And I was like, Mommy Dearest. I'm like, I get it.
Honestly, when I watched Mommy Dearest for the first time, I think it was like at the 45-minute mark when I'm like, I still don't see what's wrong with this picture. And
normal family life.
Spoiler alert, I don't have kids, so
yeah.
And then it got, a lot darker. It is a good movie though.
It's a wonderful movie. Unfortunately, that's not the movie.
That's not the movie that I suggested. Yeah, no, I did not.
I was like, wait a minute, how is Tara Reid in this movie? Was she like -12 when this movie came out? Yes. All right, so we'll get into Mummy Dearest later. And Brannick tried to sell it to me. It's Tara Reid and Lou Ferrigno, also known as at least two people in the movie.
Oh my God, I was like I was searching for these two people throughout the entire, because they're the top billed, and I'm like scraping. I'm like, is it that person? Is it that person but with prosthetics? Like seriously, I was.
Are they the mummy? Maybe.
I was very confused for a very long time. Yeah.
So
We'll
we'll
talk
talk
about
about
it.
we'll talk about that in a bit. But very first, because there are no special guests today, although I hear we might have one next time.
Oh
I
yeah, I did.
believe
Yeah.
someone from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast is going to be appearing as soon as their work schedules kind of match our recording schedule, which
Did
would be
you
kind of fun.
sneeze when you said podcast?
I didn't say podcast.
Oh, you
I
didn't? Oh,
mean, no, dude. It's
my
the Buffy
my
the Vampire
my.
Slayer.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Yeah. I mean,
My
what would I
apologies.
was not sneeze for that. Yeah. So there's no special guest today. That means Brannick. What
Yes,
did you bring?
I brought My Soul to Take, which actually gave me a lot of feelings because it is written and directed by Wes Craven. If you know anything about me, I
You love Wes
actually
Craven.
don't love Wes Craven.
Who
I
cares?
actually hate Wes Craven, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of thank you. It's there's a
I'm setting the
long
mood for you to hate Wes
thank
Craven.
you. It's really emotional, you guys. Yeah.
You hit a home run
You're
with that emotional Wes Craven.
thank you. I appreciate that. So, no, actually, I've not really particularly enjoyed most of his films. Some of his films I did.
Do I need
So,
to know why? You hinted at this before.
his tonal dissonance I really, really didn't like, especially in Last House of the Left on the Left. I abhor that movie. And a lot of it was because of just his tone shifts. It just was kind of incoherent. And surprise, surprise, this movie is completely bonkers and coherent, but honestly, in a way that
Yeah.
I did appreciate.
Okay, so like, why do you do this? I hate this director. I'm gonna watch this movie.
Okay, well, all right. I saw the okay, so I went on Tubi, my Lord and Savior,
Oh
and I
man,
said, "Which movies are leaving today?" And that was one of the movies, and I liked the poster, so I said, "Sure, why not?"
the
This
poster.
was
I
in
swear to God.
2020, 2010. So
2010.
2010.
That's the old, right?
That's the old, which is
Oh
actually
God.
kinda new for me. I usually like them a little bit older. No
Yeah.
no kink shaming there.
No,
And,
no.
haha, thanks. You're getting used to those buttons, you're getting it.
Yeah. Getting used to
So
it.
God. So, anyway, so I started watching it. Holy shit. This movie is balls to the walls bananas crazy. It
Really?
is crazy. Like within the first 5 minutes, I'm literally watching this going, "Holy crap. eh, Is this actually the climax of another movie?" I'm looking, I'm like, "Was this a sequel? Like, is this a sequel?" It's not a sequel. It is
Oh my
just
God.
crazy. Okay, so it all starts with
Who cares?
a
Sorry.
guy. You're having a lot of fun. I'm glad. I'm
And that's
glad you're
funny
having
for
fun.
multiple reasons.
So the film starts off with somebody who suffers from yes, from Baby Yoda. Somebody who
Baby Yoda. Oh, it starts
somebody
with Baby
who
Yoda?
okay,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
do I need to get my kazoo?
No, I don't have that one yet.
All right.
Sorry.
So
Yes.
somebody who suffers from dissociative identity disorder, of course,
Dude, that's
of
not a
course,
joke. That's
of
not a
course,
joke.
of course,
I've
is the
seen Moon Knight.
killer. Of course, is the killer,
Mm.
which sucks. He is the Riverton Ripper, which you please do not make this a drinking game because you will be dead by the time that you if Condor, Riverton Ripper, I forget what other words they use completely over again and again.
But you know what? If you do want a drinking game, you can go to yourfucked.yrfkd.com and it's going to be up soon. We are selling
Really?
our drinking game. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so
You
it's a
don't
real thing.
say. That's
Yeah.
it is actually a
We
real
didn't
thing.
we didn't plan it. No, it's a real thing. We're going to Gen Con to
That
pimp it
is
out.
so
Yeah.
please do go out do you want to say it again?
It's the website's not up yet, but it's going to be
Oh.
yrfkd.com. It's your fucked as a game.
You're fucked.
Trademark.
Don't play it with this movie, but play it
No.
at that.
Play it
But
instead of watching
basically
this movie.
Yeah. Well, no, play it
No,
and then
no.
watch this movie.
Ooh, yeah.
So basically this this man, he's got all these different altars and he kills his wife and cops come in and he's got a kid and they shoot him but he's still alive and they put him in an ambulance and on the way he tries to kill somebody and the ambulance blows up. I mean, like, this is literally within the first 5 minutes and I'm like,
That's the first 5 minutes.
that's the first 5 minutes. And
Oh
there's
my god.
a million people in this. And then suddenly it's like Mean Girls because all of his personalities have been born into different bodies that day. So then all of it's like
Huh.
then 16 years later and they're all in high school
Oh.
and it's really weird and it's basically Wes Craven writing high schoolers. So it's pretty cringe,
What's this
guys.
movie called again? My Soul to Take?
My soul to take.
2010, huh?
And that's like the first 20 minutes. And it only gets heightened from there. It
Dude,
keeps going on, and it's just it is wild. It is a wild ride. It
that's
is
insane.
not a good movie. It is an
Oh,
entertaining movie.
there you go. I was going to ask, there's a difference between good and entertaining. You can be one or
Yes,
the other, or you can be both sometimes, very rarely.
very rarely, but it is so convoluted. It is like Riverdale meets like I don't know, Mean Girls meets Baby Yoda meets
Grandma's cookies!
and possibly kind of Chucky because the whole soul things and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. I mean, it's wild because one of the personalities or possibly the guy is still alive and still killing people.
So, without spoiling either movie about the movie you're talking about right now and the movie I have in my mind that stars John Cusack,
Oh, yes, I
is
love
it
that
is it
movie.
is it something similar?
Um, well, in a way, it starts off like the movie Identity that you're talking
Very
about,
yes,
and I loved that movie. I did
yeah,
love that movie. It starts out like that, except all of the personalities now have 16-year-old bodies, and
huh?
it there's a hierarchy in school, and there's a bully, and there's like them knowing that they kind of all do that were part of this kind of. They call them like the Ripperton 7 or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's
Huh.
just it's very strange because it does get very kind of Mean Girl-esque because there are there's a hierarchy and they talk about a revolution of like the hierarchy changes and stuff. And it's like, when did I stop into Riverdale? I didn't think I did. The good thing is that these kids do kind of look like kids,
Mm.
kind of.
It's not the Buffy thing where they're all kind of except for the two like 30s.
Right. They do look a little younger. And to be honest, the acting is incredible. They have and I forget her name, but the lady that plays Michonne in The Walking Dead, she's in it.
Oh,
They have really good actors in it. And the acting is really good. Everybody's trying to I mean, nobody like phones it in. Everybody is putting in the best effort that they can. It's just it's wildly written and wildly directed.
that's cool. I honestly want to see this now.
It's
But it's the
it's
last day, huh?
interesting.
Maybe it's already off TV. Well, I
Well,
won't check
but
anyway.
that's the beauty of Tubi. What goes off comes back. What it takes
Goes
away,
around,
it
comes around.
brings it brings back to us. So, just like Santa Sangre.
Oh God, I
We
had to
should we
watch
should
that.
do we should do that movie at some point.
Did we ever record that podcast?
No, we did not.
Damn it! Because I remember watching that piece of crap.
Yep, we were gonna do it for the art one and then we didn't. So
Nope,
we could do it for this. We
nope.
could do
That
that as
shit's
our
canceled. Nope,
Nope,
nah,
we should do
nope,
that.
nope.
It's
Jimbo's picks next. Nope.
it's a good movie.
Jimbo's got a pick coming, and he knows exactly what he's gonna get.
Anyway, so, going back to this movie, it was all practical effects,
Yeah. Oh, then that's that. Cool. Practical,
so that
nice.
was nice. The kills were okay. Um, what I did like about it is a lot of it was dark. Like, it was shot in the dark, and it wasn't like day for night. It wasn't like, oh, it's the dark, but really there's like a million lights on them.
Right.
Like, when it was dark, it was dark. And that was kind of cool. There were a good couple jump scares in it, and the characters were pretty likable. Although again, it was, I think it would have been so much better as a book or a book series or maybe even a mini series, to be
Miniseries?
honest.
I can see
Like
that
a
as a little
Stephen,
series.
like, yeah, like a kind of Stephen Kingy kind of mini series,
Yeah,
because
the way you're describing
just
it. Yeah.
as a movie, it is, it's wild. There's a lot going on. A
Do you think
lot
it's
going
just
on.
in editing? Was like the post just kind of like, screw it, we'll just put some stuff together,
I
or
don't
was that
think
the
so,
actual
because I
script?
think it was the actual script. I think that he just he usually kind of just went on these weird tangents sometimes. And like I said, tonally, I've never really connected with him tonally, Wes Craven. Um, so I think that that was kind of a big part of it, but I think in this one, it worked.
Well,
For me.
shit.
For
For
me.
you. How was the score?
Um,
4 score, 7 years. How was the music? How was the Foley?
that's
How was the sound?
Oh, the sound was great. The music was pretty good, actually. It was very early 2000s, like, hey, we're boys and we're doing boy things. Hey, we're girls and we're doing girl stuff. And then stuff like that.
Very
It
Team America.
was very just
Yeah.
like popish rock of that era, that
Ugh.
you would see in those kind of shows, like from the
Yeah.
WB. But
Junior dancers. Yes. Yes. No McDonald bit.
for the most part, like, again, like the condor thing, that was kind of weird, but he made a condor suit, and the condor suit was very cool. I thought it was going to come back at some point, which it didn't, which I was kind of bummed about.
It's like Xander's stuff in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I only know through the podcast. I never watched it. Where there's like, I'm doing something cool. It never comes back ever.
Yeah,
Like that. Okay.
yeah, it's very much like that, and it pukes and it poops, the condor suit,
No. Well,
all
that's
over the
interesting.
bully, you
I kind of want
guys.
that now.
Yeah, it's like I said, this movie is very entertaining. It does drag a little bit at the end with the final climax, because it's just like, okay, come on, let's get on,
It might
come
have
on.
shot us a little too quickly with the exploding introduction.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Cuz how do you top that? And then they have the ambulance there. Like, nobody took away the ambulance, and so kids come every year to like come to this ambulance and be
Nice.
like, "Ooh, we
Homage.
have this." They have a very legend tripping ceremony every year and whatnot with like all the kids. Anyway, it is very interesting. I found it very entertaining. It is wild. I'm probably gonna watch it again. And I hate I
Okay.
hate to say that about a Wes Craven movie, but I think I'm going to, because
Winner.
it was fun, and it's hard for me to I almost want to give it a 4, because
Holy crap! You're gonna give it a 4?
I almost want to. I'm like between 3.5 and 4, because I
Oh,
like, the whole time my mouth was just open of like, I've never seen
bro.
a movie like it, but I have seen every movie like it, if that makes sense. Like, it has
Yeah.
all of the tropes all of the time, and again, my mouth was just agape of just like, "What am I even watching?" I've not seen a girl talks to God in it. Like, I mean, it's just it is
She
everything.
talks to George Burns.
She does, and
Okay.
it's beautiful.
It's one
So
of those.
so fans, go watch it. Tell me if I should rate this a 3.5 or a 4, because I'm really torn
That's. This is gonna be tough then,
to
because
follow.
now it's going to be, because I thought I had like a slam dunk against my movie, which is the, I guess, borrowed, is Black Phone with
You
Ethan
have the
Hawke.
new. It's new, right?
Well, it's still in the theaters, and I rented it for $25 for Amazon,
Ouch. Okay.
I was like, well, I didn't want to drive, and I was watching it with someone, so it kind of like works out either
Okay,
way.
yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
I didn't
That's
really
basically 2 tickets.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's 25 Canadian, so whatever that is
So
American now, like
that's like,
$20 probably.
yeah, like $5. No, I'm just kidding. It's the
I wish.
opposite.
Yeah. Now, Black Phone. I did not know that this was based on a Joe Hill short story.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't find that out until like today as I was looking at IMDb. Tells you how much interest I took in the Black Phone. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, oh, this one's kind of cool. And I saw these trailers at some of the movie. Like, oh, I want to see this. And you know how sometimes the trailers are like the best parts of the movie?
Yeah.
Not of Black Phone.
Really?
It's actually a much better movie than the trailers let it on to be. And the
Oh,
trailers look pretty dang good.
the trailers actually looked really amazing.
Yeah. It's one of the few pure joys that I've seen. And I'm kind of glad I saw it in my house. I will tell you this, I did fall asleep the first time. So that's probably not the best thing. But I was like, I need to watch it a second time because I fell asleep the first time. And I fell asleep the second time. But the third time's a charm. And that's the third time, like, this is actually a good movie. And I mean, I started the movie at 2 a.m. That was like the movie's fault. It was my fault for being dumb. And I'll read you a bit from the IMDb. After being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement. Ooh, I need one of those. Not the child killer, but a soundproof basement so I can do recording. So I can do recordings. Jeez.
Oh, okay,
Weirdos.
okay.
A 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. Yes. All I know is when it first starts out, you think the movie's going to be about something else, and it switches a little bit again. And it's a Blumhouse, need I say more? Blumhouse either hits a stellar home run or whips it out into like your face. This is a
Well,
stellar home run.
and Ethan Hawke is actually a really good actor, and he chooses his
I was
roles
like, he
very
picks what he
well.
wants to do.
Yeah, he chooses his roles very well. So that's when I heard that he was attached to it, I was like, and he was in that role, I'm like, oh, there has to be more to it because he
He's
wouldn't just pick that.
amazing.
He wouldn't just pick just that. Like there has to be more to that
Mm-mm.
story.
He brings a humanity to something that could have just been a fleshy, like, puppet. He brings humanity to it. You almost feel sorry for the child killer at some point.
Is that going to
Words
be
I
our
thought
new
I would say. Yeah.
t-shirt or next
Rape
t-shirt?
is not our sponsor, neither are child killers. You got jump ropes, I got legs, baby, let's get together. What was that from Nick
Yeah,
McGee?
that was a good one too. That was a good one.
That's actually our next t-shirt.
That would be a
But
good one.
and the kids, this is where the kids can go be goofy, they can be whatever. But the kids are believable. The kids are believable. And my friend says it has the kid from E.T. in it, like Elliot, as a grown up dad. But I didn't do enough research on that to make that was
I
true.
was gonna say as a child because I don't think that's how that works.
They were very cognizant, like, well, we are going to do them again. And I have to say, gosh.
It's a lot of
It's
gashes.
it's an amazing film. It's
So
probably my favorite horror movie of this year.
it looked actually very low like gore, like very low like that
Almost
kind
none.
of. Okay. I was wondering about that.
Almost no gore. This is what Stranger Things season 12 should have been.
Season 12?
Whatever season they're on now. I can't be everywhere, man. As my good friend Dr. Payne would say.
Who cares?
There we go. This is what they could have done. We made the kids actually real and believable, and some likable, some dislikable. And the adults, it's a little bit Scooby Doo. The adults are like, "Hey, kids, we need your help to figure out who killed these people." But they do it in a way that's kind of like you can see, like, oh, okay, it's kind of believable,
Well, and to be honest, I mean, we go to movie theaters to also suspend a certain
Get hand
disbelief.
jobs. Oh, sorry. Where'd you go before?
Wait,
Grandma's cookies.
There you go, Grandma's cookies.
is that our new term for hand jobs?
I think so. I was eating some grandma's cookies yesterday, and boy, do I owe my girlfriend a new dress.
I'm
Oh.
confused at who's giving grandma's cookies on that one, but
No! I'm not touching anything. Stop! 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 I didn't touch anything
and
at all.
and that's how our podcast dies.
No.
Okay, so,
No
um,
practical effect. Oh, wait. All
wait,
practical effects. No CGI, as far as I'm aware of. I think a lot of wire rope stuff and just
that's always
great,
fun.
solid acting. It's honestly, I know I fell asleep for the first 2 times I watched it, but that's on me.
Alright,
That's on me
did you have a fever when you fell asleep?
for
I've
a
done that
flavor of Pringles.
before. I've
I just did a bunch of stuff. That's all. Just like
Okay, because
worn
there's a
out.
lot of times where I've had fevers and I'm like, I fall asleep during horror movies when that happens. I don't
No,
know
that's a
why.
Care Bear movie for me.
Um,
Yeah.
Although Slender Man I did fall asleep on in the
Oh, you're
theater.
lucky.
I
You're
was
lucky.
so lucky.
You should, trust
It
me.
was only 10 minutes, but that was a nice blissful 10 minutes.
Right. Oh boy, that movie
But
was a
Joey King, she is king. Joey King
yeah.
is king. She's
Yeah.
great.
With Black
Anyway,
Phone, yeah, with Black
Black
Phone,
Phone.
my friend who does not like horror movies at all, she was watching it with me, and I got a couple of jump scares from her, even though I was sleeping. That's how good this movie is. If you don't like horror movies, and she loved it at the end, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good.
Oh,
I sold it by having it's an Ethan Hawke movie. You like Ethan Hawke, yeah? Not saying like you like Ethan Hawke in the Blumhouse production where he plays like the
a
guy
serial
in
killer?
yeah, and a serial killer. Previously, he was playing in what's the one where the Purge?
Oh,
Yeah, like
yeah.
but he does Blumhouse but very selectively, and I love it. Just movies period very selectively, and he does really well. She loved it. She absolutely loved it, even though it scared her. I adore it. I'm giving this a 4.5.
Nice.
4.5 out of 5. It's really a
Nice.
solid movie, and it's $25. Well worth it. Even if it was just by myself, $25 just to not leave my house and watch a cool movie, still well worth it.
And honestly, you sold me on because I looked at the trailers and the trailers looked amazing, and then you said that it's even better than that. That's what sold
It's
me.
it tells a story. The trailers don't show. The trailers show like obviously, but I'm defining what trailer is now. But the trailers show what could be edited into. Like the trailers are heavily edited.
Mhm.
However, they're missing the whole story. The trailers basically show the B story.
Oh.
It's just like it's like just a small little glimpse of like the secondary story. Really, the primary
Oh,
story is so much in depth.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's again amazing. 4.5. You guys should rent it. Go to the movie theaters if you can, if you are being safe. But rent it. It's worth it. Unfortunately, I can't say that about our next movie. So
Well, it
Mummy
had a
Dearest.
lot of piano playing
Yes, it
and,
did. For a guy who couldn't.
and
Okay,
can
I have
fake
crippling
piano.
arthritis. I
Fake
have
piano.
crippling arthritis in my hands. I was like, how the fuck does he do most of those things with his hands? Okay.
Because he can, because that is not actual piano playing. You
Or
do not
actual arthritis, I guess.
you do not hump your piano to play
I,
it. I
I
mean, I
do.
guess you could, but
I have
it's
sex
not gonna
demo.
sound like it did in the movie. It is not gonna
It's gonna
sound like that.
sound like my podcast music first. I want to do
Yes.
piano.
It's gonna sound a lot different from that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so
So, Mummy Dearest in
Mummy.
2020.
Mummy. Mummy.
Mummy Dearest Mummy 2021. It says on this thing. Oh,
Really? Oh my
yeah,
god,
that's what
it felt like
IMDb
it
says.
was from the '90s. It really did.
And it still sucked if it was from the 90s.
But
No,
it if it were from the '90s, I would give it some grace. I would say, "Okay, I get that," because it honestly reminded me a bit of The Room. Nowhere near as The Room as The Room, but the acting was very The Room, if people know what The Room is.
If people can read The Room, they'll know The Room is The Room. It does have named actors in it. That's the
Yeah,
thing I kiss, but unfortunately, they're only in a small bit. So Brannick sold it to me as, oh, Lou Ferrigno and Tara Reid's in this. I'm like, holy shit, you have me at Lou Ferrigno, first of
that's
all.
that's how it looks. That's who was top billed, was
Yeah.
Tara Reid and Lou
On the
Ferrigno.
poster, I'm looking at the poster right now. It says Lou Ferrigno and Tara Reid and no one else. And like Mummy Dearest. And there are pictures in between, like one side and the other side of the mummy.
Yes,
They are in like for 2 fucking minutes of the
and
movie.
I will be completely honest to say that I completely forgot that Lou Ferrigno was in this movie until I saw him, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, he looks very familiar." And
Okay.
then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's right."
I had that moment similar because I watched it for so long and Lou doesn't show up until like past midway, I think.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, did Brannick just think this other guy is Lou Ferrigno? It's like this like a same name type thing, like James Bond being that one vampire succubus or the succubus movies, like that type of thing. No, he's in it. He's in it. He's
He's
just
in
been like a
it.
long time. So is Tara
He's
Reid and
and Tara Reid, like, has, I think, like, one line
that it's not even
that
like
they replay
I was
over
like they
and
play
over,
it. She has one line that just replay her for
and I
Ken.
love it. 'Cause, like, the main guy is like, "I was so in love with her, she had the most beautiful voice," and really her line is just like, "Excuse me, I gotta get up the stairs."
But there's like I'm gonna make this into a piano thing. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
and then he goes into the he's goes into organ, and he's just playing his organ.
Oh, he plays the organ all right.
He
Oh, he
plays
plays it
that
hardcore. Oh, you
organ
know what I mean?
because he fell in love, and I literally thought he was reincarnated from, like, Egyptians.
Dude, I don't even know.
Because there's this scene where he's with his mom and they're, like, I guess, cosplaying or
Yeah,
something?
I'm gonna try to recreate most of this movie as I can without spoiling anything in like 20 seconds or less. So you start out with Jennifer Kaza James, who, by the way, is the best actress besides Tara Reid, is in this entire. She actually acts
Is
like
that the mom?
Lou's a good, yeah, the mom.
Oh,
Jennifer's a
she
great
was
actress.
phenomenal.
Quentin Aaron's in this. He's a great
Oh, he was
actor
great. He was great
from
too.
Blindside. Like Tara's in it. She was a great actress. Lou's in this. Mr. Franco's in this. He's a great actor. And Ken Devitanian, which you might know from Borat, being like the manager guy, another great actor. Everyone else, I don't really know too much. But three of the people who are in this, four if you include the bird, don't have IMDb photos.
Oh, no.
Like neither do I, but I just don't want to pay like the $20.
Well, yeah, but they're in a
So
movie with
so
Lou Ferrigno
yeah, I don't
and
know Lou
Tara
Ferrigno.
Reid.
Yeah, I would remember that one. But we have a mom coming in to check on her daughter at a chiropractor's office, and the chiropractor like somehow breaks her back.
Oh, is that Doctor what was his name that they said, like, a million
Dr.
times?
Jason.
Dr. Jason?
Yes, Michael
"Yes,
Parr.
mom, I love Dr. Jason. You don't love Dr. Jason. I love Dr. J." Like, they said literally said Dr. Jason, like, 20 times.
Yeah,
And
and
then
he
he breaks her
breaks
back.
in the first couple of seconds. And so she lives
Yes.
with her daughter in her daughter's boyfriend's mansion, which is an Egyptian
It
motif
was and,
thing.
like and not even that, like, there's, like, broken ceramic dolls in the bathroom, and there's
Yeah,
candles
and I can guarantee that was
everywhere.
not wheelchair accessible.
Oh
Like
god,
I saw
no.
stairs. I saw like how did they get it? Like oh they
How
just
did
cut around
they
it.
Yeah, they just they there's no elevator in that place, I
Yeah,
guarantee it.
and the
And
best go for it.
oh, well, just, the mom was like, "He's a serial killer. Have you looked around at these murals of these weird ass things?" And her daughter's like, "He's a serial ki" I'm like, "No, he's a serial killer. No, your mom is right. Like, look at what is around you." And then he comes all in shirtless, and
Always
he's, like,
shirtless.
always shirtless, and
He's
always, like, half naked.
discount Jared Leto,
And oh, 100%. And
right?
he acts, like, so dramatic and so tortured. like this. You don't understand me. It's so good. It's so good. I ate it
Yeah,
up.
you ate it. Yeah, I was eating something. By the way, if you ever want to see the entire movie, go to IMDb, scroll on the trailer. Don't put the sound on, no, no. But just watch a trailer and repeat that trailer for an hour and 30 minutes, and you will have the entire movie because most of these scenes just repeat. The mom somehow has magical hand powers,
Oh,
puts her
yeah.
hands on the back to give him like
It's like
hand job
Reiki. It's like a
power. Yeah,
Reiki type
there you go,
thing.
Reiki.
But I think that the director does that, like, for a living or something, 'cause he
Oh,
he he did, like, another movie that was about that. I didn't look too far into it, but it's like, oh, this is something he does, I think. This is a thing that he
you
does.
know what he doesn't do? Make movies, unfortunately, which is what we're trying to.
I disagree.
There's no okay. I love Mr. Ferrigno. I love Tara Reid. I love Quentin, and Jennifer does a
She is
great
at
performance,
a 12 the entire time.
and
There's
everyone
not
else is like at
ever
a
a moment.
two.
Yeah, everybody else has taken NyQuil.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's a thing. That's why it kind of like you have a legitimate actress because sometimes you just see a movie and think the acting is just off. It's some. I'll give you a hint. Sometimes just editing, score. It can be a billion
oh,
other
yeah.
things. Just the
It
way they
could
just
be
put
the
together.
production company,
Yeah,
it could be a lot of different things.
and not the acting at all. It's just the
Right.
acting probably knocked out of the park. But when you see her in the scene with other people, you're like, oh, it's the acting.
Oh, yeah. Like, her daughter, oh my gosh. Like,
Her
you could
daughter
see
is
she was,
so upset at her, and Mom, I need to kill you in my life.
"Mom, why are you doing this to me?"
Mom, stop touching my boyfriend's penis.
And you
I don't. Is that like close enough to like? Is that like
pretty
resembles what they
close.
said? Yeah.
It's pretty close. And you could tell she was given the direction of, like, "You don't like your mom.
Don't
Doesn't
like
matter
your
why.
mom.
You
Yeah.
don't like her. So
There's no
just"
emotional. There's no emotion.
No,
I'm
there's really not.
yelling. No, you're just raising your voice. That's not yelling. Yelling actually takes
Yeah.
anger.
Yeah,
Yelling
she's
takes emotion.
I think
But
she did take
yeah,
NyQuil, but I
we're
mean,
not here to trash. I'm not trying to. At least I'm not trying to trash the actress who plays the daughter. But that's how good Jennifer Koza James is. She steals the scene in every scene she's in.
she's always shaking for those pill bottles. She's always,
She's
like,
believable.
looking off in the distance while
Yeah.
piano is playing. I mean, it is a cheesy ass movie. It
Yeah.
is not a good movie,
No.
but she makes it so much more entertaining.
It's a cheesy movie with some bright spots. Jennifer is one of those bright spots by big and far. Quentin, okay,
Oh, Quinn's great.
Quentin does an amazing job, but I didn't understand his role because did he basically break into the guy's house and is that guy's front door a closet?
He's a Jehovah's Witness. He needs to spread his truth.
Right, but remember, okay, when Quentin's like in the very first time, she like the mom, like Jennifer calls
Yeah.
his names. It's like Scarlet will use Quentin's name in this movie is called Quentin's too. That just tells the writers like, oh, screw it, we just got Quentin from
Quick
the
Quinn.
blind side. Yeah, we'll just put him in the blind side. We have Scarlet. She is in there. She's like, oh, I hear a stranger danger, and she's gonna go to the front door, but it's not a front door. It's like a closet where
It's
Quentin's like, oh, like there's no outside.
I
You know.
I think it was supposed to be a door. I
Someone's
think it was supposed to be a door. I mean, honestly, the logistics of this place I do not understand because she goes and she finds bodies at some point and she's going through the house and like the logistics of the house I did not
oh
understand in the least. Like I'm like,
no.
where is she now? How did she get there?
How did she get to the roof with
Yeah.
a wheelchair? Because it's like the ramp, like always a
Oops.
ramp.
Multiple times. Multiple times. She's on the roof. And in fact, one time the one guy's like grabs her and she's screaming and he's like, I thought you were gonna jump. And she's like, how can I jump? Dum dum. Like,
Right. Okay. I think I'm talking about the time where she starts choking on like a piece of chicken
yeah.
or I don't know what she's
Well,
choking
yeah,
on.
and then Quentin comes and saves her.
Does it, and then she yells at him like she's like, "You breaking the
He
entry." I'm like,
freaking cuts him. she fucking cuts that dude, and he
With the
is
worst knife scene I've ever seen in my life. She
with
cuts
a
him with
really
like the handle, basically. Somehow he has to take the knife. And go, oh, my arm! He takes the knife from her and jabs it into his arm. Like, oh
yeah,
god,
it's not very well choreographed, but
no.
I felt so bad for him because I'm like, dude's just trying to help you, woman. Jesus, like, calm down, you
Oh,
know?
that's what the guy looks like. He looks like Jesus from The Walking Dead.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
But
Okay, so
I did find it interesting that they did have a Jehovah's Witness that was, um,
trying to save him.
yeah. I mean, usually it's like the weird, neighbor or something like that. And I'm not Jehovah's Witness or anything like that, but it is like a trope that I've seen a lot. Like,
Yeah,
oh, it's the weird guy that comes and no, this guy's actually really nice, and he's trying to help her solve the mysteries of the house and stuff.
I think that's because the actor is really nice.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice dude.
Yeah, and I think he was putting a little bit of himself into. I don't know if he's Jehovah's Witness or not, but he's very charismatic on
He's
stage, on
very
screen.
charismatic. He
And to the point
is.
where like, oh, I want to watch more of just him and her, it's like solving
Right.
mysteries like Scooby Doo bench.
Oh, that would be great. Like, she's in a wheelchair and he's, just Jehovah's Witness. I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know what it would be called, but they
Oh,
would be
I know
fun.
what's gonna be called. It's gonna be called
Grandma's
really
Cookies?
Grandma's Cookies.
Grandma's
There we go.
cookies.
Thank
There we
you,
go.
Grandma's Cookies.
There we
Damn
go.
it, on board.
Um, but no, they were really good. Um, the mummy confused me. There is a mummy.
It happened somewhere like 20 minutes left, I think, or 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is a mummy.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, when that one woman's being buried, we
yes,
won't say which woman. I thought she was still alive because the actress moves
right.
and starts making facial movements, and then apparently she was supposed to be dead. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
think
anymore.
so. Or maybe she was unconscious,
Uh,
you
this
know?
the point is this. A, that's not how mummies are done. If anyone's like, I want to make a mummy, this is definitely not
Oh,
how
no, 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 no,
the
no, no, no,
brain
no.
picker thing. That's not even a real tool for that. It would never pick. They kind of pour molten. They boil your brain out. They kind of melt it. But
Scramble it around and they pull it out.
there's nothing to really, But
But no,
God,
to make a
it's not.
mummy, you need a lot of
You need a daddy and then another mummy,
you
and
need
then they get together.
like a bog. You could do a bog mummy. Like those peat bog mummies that they have like in England. Those are cool. You could do one of those, or I
They
mean,
have some
really,
of
you
those
need.
in the States too. Bog
I
mummies.
don't. Do they?
Yeah,
I'll have to look into
marsh
that.
mummies.
I'll have to look into that. That would, I think, be a fun way to go.
That's how bad the movie is. We're actually talking about how to mummify someone.
Well, because you can't just make a mummy out of just putting cloth on somebody's face.
Very loosely wrapped cloth. Like they had
Very
to take it
loosely.
back. Like, oh, we have to take this back later on to Walmart. Keep the receipt. This ace bandage was like
Honestly, it
25%
was
of our production
probably
budget.
an ace bandage, and they probably
Yeah.
needed it later.
Like, I sprained
Um,
my ankle. Don't be too liberal with that ace bandage over there, dude. I need to still wrap my ankle up.
we still need it, so don't get it too dirty.
Yeah, okay, without spoiling, what are you going to say? What say you on this movie?
I did find it entertaining in the way that I found the room entertaining. I don't think it's as good as the room, but there is a scene, and I shit you not, where it was basically I did not hit her. I did not,
Yeah.
scene. And
Yeah.
and when that happened, I burst out laughing. And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's just like the room." So I kind of found delight in that. I I would give it I know you're gonna hate me, but I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3?
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Oh, good God.
Because of the piano, humping was funny. The candles everywhere. There's candles everywhere in this movie. Every inch, there's a candle.
Candles and
And
naked bodies.
and
But not
naked
women, by the way.
bodies and, like,
Just guys.
her, like she's got this power where she can see into people's minds inexplicably. It's and again, the actress is great. She is always at a 12,
Yeah.
and I found it entertaining. I didn't find it a good movie, but I found it an entertaining movie. And the Tara Reid that I saw, like, the very, 20 seconds she was in it, she was alright.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Tara Reid and Lou Ferrigno, for being the named actors on the poster, didn't have anything at all. It's kind of like a Jackie Chan movie when Jackie Chan first started out. Like, this is starting Jackie Chan. This is awesome. He dies in the first 3 minutes. You like fast forward to make sure. It's like, is this guy coming back? Maybe, maybe. No, okay.
Yeah.
When the best actress who are not Tara Reid or best actor who's not Tara Reid or Lou Ferrigno in this movie is, and nothing against Jennifer Cosa James, but when she's best known for being Shannon Tweed's friend, like in Gene Simmons' Family Jewels reality TV show, that's when her best role was being basically herself, and then basically Mummy Dearest 12 years later, 11 years later, that's not good for your movie. And I'm not taking anything away from her. I think she's a tremendous actress. I loved her in this. If it wasn't for her, I would not even been able to see Lou Ferrigno's thing. I'd be like, okay, Brad lied to me. Lou Ferrigno's not in this movie. Or maybe they thought like I'll even look at the cast. One of those things. I would not have made that far. The only redeemable character in this movie, besides Ferrigno and Reed and Quentin, is her.
Oh,
And
I like
she,
the dude too. I do like the Egyptian dude.
do you? Oh,
Yes,
the
because he's so
grandfather?
no, 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 just like the dude, the the
Oh,
dude we
the shirtless guy.
yeah, shirtless guy we think is the killer, like
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
he's every edgelord
yeah,
ever,
I can see that. But
and I
the
love
reason,
it.
okay, the reason I didn't like him because I do have arthritis so bad I can't turn doorknobs sometimes. He's like, my hands are really painful, but he's like, I'm gonna do some piano now and turn these doorknobs, and I'm gonna go lift some weights and also squeeze a styrofoam ball
Oh
for
yeah,
grip.
he had that ball, like,
It's,
everywhere he went.
it's a dodgeball. It's a styrofoam dodgeball.
And
Like
I
really?
don't know why he and the mom talked before, because she's like, "I'll heal your hands," but when
Promise
did
to
she
be there.
even talk to
Oh, when they
I don't
cut
get it.
when her doctor or chiropractor somehow put a knee on her back for some particular reason.
Yeah, and she
But
was telling him, "Stop, stop, get
well,
off me, stop."
yeah, I
And,
thought it'd be like a rape, but it's just like
I thought
I,
so too. I
I
thought
actually I kind of
100%.
wish it was a rape at this point because it would make the movie a little more interesting.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
oh,
he did something well, and I
permanently altering changer. Yeah, it's just, but it becomes a
yeah,
MacGuffin. Like, I'm in a wheelchair now. I can't move out. Like,
which I
so
kinda
it's
actually liked. I did kinda like that because we don't get enough people with disabilities in movies, so I kinda did like that part of it, just kinda like in
oh
Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the brother that was in the wheelchair,
yeah.
although he was super annoying. I get that, but it is nice to see people with disabilities that are in
All
movies.
right. Well, that's one of the things. Okay, I'm gonna get off this slight disability rant. One of the many things that really irked me about Chin Balls or whatever his fucking name is for the new Doctor Who season with the 13th Doctor is the disability. Like, we're gonna have a character with disability. Like, what's the disability? Oh, he can't tell left from right sometimes.
Oh,
That's your fucking disability you're going with. Really, that one. Of the myriads of fucking things you can expose children to and have them kind of like normalize. Make sure like their classmate who has this whatever they have like is kind of like part of the group. No, you're going with left from right. That's their that's for disability. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, ass.
that's not
And sadly, that's probably the best thought out of the whole damn series. Okay, so back to
You
this.
know what what's interesting too? I just realized that my first movie too, had someone who one of the alters was blind. So that's kind of interesting too.
Oh, I wonder if mine
So
can.
so I wonder how many of these movies at least 2 out of 3 had people with disabilities in them.
And maybe that's where we're ended. No,
Yeah, actually, that goes into my plug.
I'm gonna give my let me get my score first. So this one, you
Oh
give it a
yeah,
3.
I
2.5.
gave it a 3. A
I
2.5?
almost gave it. I almost gave it a 3. If Lou Ferrigno and Quentin and Tara Reid were in this more, it would be easy 3.5. But it's not. And if Jennifer wasn't in this movie at all, it would be up to 0.5.
Ooh, it would be, yeah, it would be so low.
It'll be
It would be
unbearable.
so low.
Unbearable to watch. But she pulled it off. So hats off to her. I was like, I want to interview her now, just to like, how did she pull that off?
Yeah, like, tell us about this. Tell us everything about
That
this
had to be
movie,
hell.
because this
That'd be
had
hell,
to
man.
be so like a book, a book of.
She pulls. I mean, she puts it all on her shoulders.
Yeah, she
Entire
pulls
movie.
hard.
Yeah.
She pulls hard in this movie.
So 2.5 from me. All right, Brannick, what do you want to plug?
Okay, I'm gonna actually plug the art experience, and you can go to theartexperience.org. And basically, what they do is they provide and develop quality art programs that build communities, and especially they invite everybody of all ages and all abilities. So they really focus on people with
Cool.
disabilities as well. Um, and so, again, you can go to theartexperience.org. You can donate. If you are in the area, you can go to classes or you can shop around. You can find events. But I've worked with them before, and they're just super awesome people that know that art is an important thing in everybody's lives. So
Right.
they want to get people creating.
Get people creating. Well,
Yep.
I did that. I love the arts. If you haven't guessed. So yeah, what's that website again?
It is, of course, I put my phone down. It is theartexperience.org.
Who cares? Hey, we care.
I knew it was a setup. I knew it. You know
Yeah,
who I
we
need on my
care.
side? I need Baby Yoda on my side.
No, you don't. No one needs.
There
Not
we
at all.
go.
And I just deleted the drums by mistake, so I need to
Oh,
do
you
it.
did, because it kept moving.
I'm gonna email them.
It was haunted.
Like,
Haunted
could you
drum
guys
set.
give me my drums, please? All right,
All
you
right,
know what?
what do you got?
I'm gonna plug myself.
All
That's
right.
what I'm going. We I just released "Let Me In," which is a Buffy Vampire Slayer podcast with two super fans, myself who's never seen it whatsoever, and a person who's seen it for the very first time, with the what's your least favorite scary movie podcast people with Jess and Travis. Jess is
And
one
they
of the
are
super
so
fans.
funny.
They are hysterical. We got Xander, who is another super fan from our site, and it works so well. Our feedback is this: Apple wrote me. Apple wrote me said we were trending really high. I'm like, holy
What?
shit! Yeah, I guess it's like a hit podcast right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I had one fan write and said that, I'm slightly paraphrasing, our podcast was so good it almost killed them because
Oh
they were
no.
not paying attention to the train they almost walked into.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
hey, our podcast is deadly good. So I'm gonna plug that. It's a great podcast. I love it, and I'm gonna plug myself. I will be at Gen Con, and actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I will be giving a seminar. So actually, they sold out, and they gave me a better room, so it's probably not sold out right now. Saturday, I think 1-ish p.m. on Query Letters. If you're in Gen Con, stop by, say hi. Jim Phoenix is underneath our Haunted Montreal, our MTL, my bad, it's a habit now. A Haunted MTL kind of biggle. Drop by, say hi, introduce yourself, and just welcome chat. So
so
I'm
for
plugging me.
people who don't know the biz, query letters are basically letters you write when you're queer.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes, they're
I need
queer
to
E
write
letters.
mine. I
It's
need
kind
to
of like
write mine.
It's like Wally. You know, you can write yours, but you have to be like a robot.
Oh, okay. But for real, it's about people who are writing.
Trying to introduce themselves to a publisher or an agent or someone. I'm doing mostly publisher stuff because as we publish anthologies, which we do have an anthology coming out for bodies called Bodies for women's charities. And if
Mm.
we still hadn't done it until August something, so or September, whatever it is.
Yes.
Submit,
End of
submit, submit,
August.
submit. Yep, submit many times as you want, guys and ladies and
Everybody in
thems
between.
and yeah, however you identify to live, vibe, and survive, as Blues Brothers say. Come on, submit. It's all goodness. But I've seen so many letters in the past that were just like horrible, and they don't really teach you how to write a letter in some of the schools even. So like, this is
No,
what
they
I'm
don't.
doing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's a
teach you
great
how to do
idea.
it. Come on by Gen Con, which is going to be this Saturday. This comes out Friday. This Saturday, so tomorrow will be Gen Con.
Whew. So
Can't wait.
everybody going to Gen Con. This is where you're going to want to go.
That's right. That's right, and that's where I'll be. And so, without any further ado, on behalf of myself, Jim Phoenix, my co-host, J.M. Brannick, and I want to say a very happy hello again to Emily. I won't say the last name. Starts with a D. Starts with a D. To
And I'm
Emily.
going to say happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, what a happy birthday, Mom. Jeez. You should have done that one. You know what?
Grandma's cookies!
That's right. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
I hear a cat.